Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. on the Central Standard Time, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. Continue watching on all the social media sites. We're there as well. And continue sending emails. Make my day. I'm telling you, I love it. You're not bothering me one little bit. Continue sending those to Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Everybody's waiting on AP Steadham. He's at Media Days. AP, as we see it. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today. Where are you right now?
Thank you, Donna. Yeah, I'm at the hotel here, the Cortland Grand Hotel in downtown Atlanta, getting ready to approach the day. It's a big day. We had fun yesterday with 4 teams: South Carolina, LSU, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. So today we have, I think, Texas, Georgia, Auburn, and I'm trying to remember the 4th team, but it's a heavy schedule today. It's 4 teams per day, Donna. 4 teams per day.
All years about South Carolina. Please tell us what's happening there.
Yeah, Lenore Sellers, we had a chance to speak with him, and Shane Beamer. I asked him the question, and he was concerned about the turnovers and protecting the quarterback. You know, they have a pretty special quarterback in Lenore Sellers. So those are a couple items on the agenda to make sure that happens for them this season. Lower the turnovers and protect that quarterback and play good defense, good solid defense. And Lenore Sellers, the quarterback, is going to be improved, I believe. And he's got the supporting cast, and they're going to challenge everyone in the conference again this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, you also had an interview with Joey Dwyer. You want to tell us about him? Then we'll go ahead and shoot down a video.
Right. Joey Dwyer from Sports Illustrated. He covers Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt with their dynamic quarterback, Diego Pavia. He engineered the upset over Alabama and played Texas to a 3-point game in double overtime in Missouri. Won the bowl game against Georgia Tech, a team that had 0 wins, Don. 0 wins in the conference, and then they were playing in a bowl game, beating Alabama the first time they beat a AP number 1 team ever in the history of the program. So a record setting for Clark Lee and company. So we interviewed Joey Dwyer about the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Well, let's go ahead and show that right now. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is AP Steadham of AP As We See It live in Atlanta, Georgia. At the 2025 SEC Football Media Days, we're going to discuss the Vanderbilt Commodores with our very special guest,
Joey Dwyer.
And Joey, what is your affiliation?
I'm with Vandy on SI, the lead writer there, and man, it was a great day.
It sure was. The most intriguing storyline with Vanderbilt is, of course, Diego Pavia. So I tell people he's not impressive physically. Mm-hmm. His numbers aren't spectacular, but he's great with that W column, wins.
Yeah, I mean, he's the ultimate competitor. He's built like a wrestler. He was a wrestler for most of his childhood, most of his high school career, I believe, too. And I think what makes Diego Pavia special is not what he can do with the football or how he runs it. It's the toughness, it's the edge, it's the competitiveness. Those are the things that set him apart. And I talked to him earlier today. Like, people think you're crazy, right? I told him, and he's like, yeah, but I mean, that's basically why I am where I am today. And I think you saw that today. He gets in the scrum with probably 50 people, and he's just being himself. And Diego Pavia being himself was a story of SEC Media Day today, I thought.
It sure was. Yeah, he's spectacular. I love to watch him play, and his story, his total story of coming from New Mexico State, and he beat Hugh Freeze 3 times in a row at a couple of different schools. He's going for that 4th game this year. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's up in Nashville. Mm-hmm. Auburn should be a little bit nervous about that game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be at this point, right? Like, I think the thing with Vanderbilt, too, is they want to be more dynamic offensively. They want to have more splash plays, which really didn't happen for as good as they were at controlling the ball. Clark-Lea knows that's unsustainable. They tried to get better up front, and I think they did get better, especially on the offensive line particularly. And then you look at defense, and they've got to force more turnovers. I think those are the keys to being able to win games like that, because now Auburn knows they're coming, right? Diego Pavia was asked about that today, and he goes, Alabama and Georgia, people know they're coming, and they still win games. So unbreakable confidence from him. And, again, that's why he is where he is. Again, you mentioned, like, not impressive physically. I think the mental side is more impressive than just about anybody I've seen.
Absolutely, absolutely. What are some of the other storylines of some of the people that can help Diego create more wins for the Commodores?
Yeah, well, coming into the day, I thought Martel Height would be the story for Vanderbilt. He's playing all three ways. He's getting most of his offseason work in at wide receiver. He's probably their best corner last year. He was an all-SEC returner. He's going to do all three, and man, if he can be half as good of a receiver as he is a corner, Diego Pavia could have a real weapon there. So we'll kind of see how it develops there. But the offensive line is the story, I think, of the offseason. Clark-Lea told me a few weeks ago it's the best that he's had throughout his tenure, and really didn't underwrite his statement with anything. He just said it, and it seemed like he had full belief in it. So the offensive line is going to be a story. They've got to be able to run the ball better. Clark-Lea's mentioned the stat of yards before contact. That's something that hasn't gone in their favor. So we'll see. But, again, they got to force turnovers. They got to be more explosive, and you can't turn it over. I mean, they're going to turn it over more than 7 times, I would guess. They didn't. They turned it over 7 times last year. It's going to happen more, but you got to offset that with other things, I think.
Yeah, that was the key last year, no turnovers. That's why they were able to sustain the wins and be in games against Texas and beat Alabama and win the bowl game. And maybe no letdown against Georgia State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they have that game circled on their calendar, regardless of what they'll tell you, which I think most of them would tell you that they do, but they want to win that game badly after what happened last year. I think they thought they were underprepared for that game. They thought that they kind of overlooked Georgia State. Sure as heck isn't happening again.
How is it to cover Clark-Lea as a coach and the decisions that he makes during the game? How would you describe his style?
I think he's very analytical. I think that's probably the main takeaway I have from kind of pestering about some in-game decisions. A lot of time we'll talk about the numbers, and I do think he factors in the human side. I think that's something that he thinks about as well. But I remember years ago he'd kind of gone into a deep explanation of what he looks for analytically and things along those lines, and I think that matters deeply to him. But also I think I talked to him about this a few weeks back, and he agreed. Like, people think he's a philosopher. They think he shows no emotion. If you're at a practice, that's not what you'll see. I don't think he's actually that way. I think that's what he tries to convey publicly, and I think there's a side to him that people don't really know in that way.
Eli Stowers, the tight end. What do you like to tell people about him?
I mean, he's first-team All-American in a lot of places for a reason. I think one of the better receiving tight ends in the country, maybe the best receiving tight end in the country. The blocking is why he came back to school, why he wants to try to prove it again. Obviously, he wants to win, but he's got to improve his blocking. He was a quarterback throughout most of his high school career. All of his high school career was a 4-star quarterback that went to A&M, and then kind of had a shoulder injury that really hampered him the rest of his career. Now he's trying to make his way as a tight end and has done a really good job of it, but the blocking is going to be the thing that determines where he goes in the draft next year, because everybody knows about the receiving. They know how good he is at that, how great of a target he is, but he's going to be double teamed, and he's got to make himself valuable another way too.
Reflecting on last season, Joey, Vanderbilt will be successful this season if first of all the turnover numbers stay similar offensively, hit more splash plays, if the offensive line is as good as Clark-Lea thinks it is, and if they force more turnovers defensively. It's a lot to ask, but Vanderbilt's always got to win in the margins. They've got to win the turnovers numbers. I think they can do it, but it's certainly an uphill path for Vanderbilt football at all times, as kind of Clark-Lea mentioned this morning. Hey, thank you for your report on the Vanderbilt Commodores. This is AP Steadham live from Atlanta, Georgia, 2025 SEC Football Media Days. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
what an interview. I'm going to tell you what, Vanderbilt has just, they've come out, they were crying in the wilderness. And now all of a sudden, there's Vanderbilt. What are your thoughts on what they're going to do this season?
Yeah, I like that combination that he mentioned, the tight end. Don, I always tell people, if you have a good one athletically, that is the best matchup on the field, because he's usually tall, strong, and fast. So linebackers can't hang with him because of the speed, and the defensive backs are too small. So I like when a quarterback has an excellent tight end. I like the fact that Diego Pavia, he has broad shoulders. He's not very big down, but he was a wrestler. But he embraces all the responsibility and the pressures for the team, so they can play free and easy. And that helps the coach as well. And he knows how to win. Like I said, he beat Alabama. That's the first time in school history they beat a number one team. And he got him into a bowl game, beat a good Georgia Tech team that took Georgia, the SEC champion, to, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7, 8 overtimes, whatever it was. But I like Vanderbilt, and Clark-Lee is building a nice program there.
I'm seeing them where Tennessee had this potential a few years ago. You and I talked about Tennessee quite a bit.
Right.
A few years ago. And I can see that as well. Now you've had some great interviews. Next segment, we'll be talking your interview with Sam Hutchens. So we'll be back then with that. But let's talk about a couple more interviews before we go into a commercial break. What did you see out there?
Yeah, we had an interview with LSU representative who covers them for the TV station in New Orleans, there, Baton Rouge area. So that was you can catch that on my AP as we see YouTube channel. Fletcher Mackel, he's with down there in Louisiana, so he's very vociferous and expressive, and he had a lot to say about the LSU Tigers. And then we had a gentleman out of Columbia, South Carolina, discuss, of course, the South Carolina Gamecocks. Noah Chass, so he's with the ABC affiliate there. And you can check that out on my channel, YouTube channel, AP, as we see it. So it was a good day, and we're looking forward to another good day. But all these teams, Donna, it's very difficult to beat them. Every single team in the conference, maybe Mississippi State is still trying to catch everybody. They're starting from they had a lot of replacements of players and new coach last year. So they're probably at the bottom, probably going to stay at the bottom for a while. But everybody else, Kentucky should be back playing better football, challenging teams like they did in the past under Mark Stoops. But we're going to find out this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you just answered my question. Who's the weakest link?
I think so.
I mean, we've had so many surprises. That's the thing about football.
Yeah, I mean, you take a team like Florida, had the most difficult schedule. We thought they were going to lose to many. The coach was in jeopardy. Well, his team rebounded. I mean, they beat Ole Miss, and they had some good ball games. Florida, they came back and won and went to a bowl game. And so, like I said, surprises. You can't take anyone for granted in that league. I mean, look at Vanderbilt themselves took Georgia State for granted, and they ended up losing that game. They should have won that game, so that game is circled on their schedule. But it should be a great rest of the week with all the teams coming here to Atlanta, and we get a chance to visit with all the players. 3 players per team, Donna, and the head coach. That's what's available for the interviews.
Sounds good. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes with another one of your interviews.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020. We're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host for Donna's Edge television talk show. You can find us syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. We're going to go to another interview. AP, you just burning it up out there. Tell us a little bit about Sam Hutchens before we go into the interview.
Yeah. Sam Hutchens is with the Clarion Ledger out of Mississippi, and Sam covers Ole Miss and I believe Mississippi State as well at times. But this Ole Miss team has a new quarterback, Austin Simmons. Donna, he's 19 years old. I think he already graduated from Ole Miss at 19 years old. He was 2 classes ahead. He's very smart. He's from South Florida. Left-handed quarterback. Came in last year when Jackson Dart of Ole Miss, the 3-year starter, was injured against Georgia. Scored a touchdown. Led the team for a touchdown in a crucial game when they beat Georgia by 18 points. So very smart. You understand that he's well-spoken. And imagine down having your college degree at 19 years old and being part of the football team. So looking forward to watching Austin Simmons and Lane Kiffin and company. But Sam, he's very. He was on my show about a month or so ago, so I wanted to interview him here in Atlanta at the SEC Football Media Days.
All right, let's go to it. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Hi, this is AP Steadham of As We See It live here in Atlanta, Georgia, the 2025 SEC Football Media Days with our very special guest to discuss Ole Miss.
That's right. I'm Sam Hutchens, and I write for the Clarion Ledger, so thanks for having me on.
Hey, Sam, great you're here. Sam, when you speak about Ole Miss, they're going to have the new quarterback, Austin Simmons, so I guess we can start there. What have you viewed from him last year, and how do you think he's going to project as a quarterback in the SEC as the leader of the Ole Miss team?
Yeah, he's an interesting case because last year we didn't see a lot of him, but what we saw was incredibly impressive. He was the first to score when Ole Miss faced Georgia. Jackson Dart got hurt on the first drive, and Simmons, who came in as an 18-year-old kid at the time, came in when Ole Miss was down and led a touchdown drive. And that was kind of all we saw was just that one little snippet, but it was incredibly impressive. And he came in some blowouts too, but so the ticket for him this year will be keeping, we know he can play at an incredibly high level. Can he sustain it over a whole season is the question that we're going in with this year.
Left-hander, right, Sam?
Left-hander, yeah. Caden Lee, talking to him a receiver day, said it's different catching that spin when it's spinning the other way. But I guess they're used to it by now in seeing it in training camp and all that. So, yeah, it'll look a little different on TV, too.
I think it's a little advantage as well, throwing the left-hander to the other side of the defense. They're tending to lean the other way.
Yeah, it could be. You're not used to on rollouts and stuff. Maybe you're just not used to that. You probably play maybe one left-handed quarterback a whole year or even less. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how some defenses play him.
Who's some of the threats on the outside that will give defensive coordinators nightmares?
Yeah, the one coming back is Caden Lee. He's a receiver who was here at Media's day-to-day, and he's kind of the only sort of guarantee we have because Ole Miss brought in a ton of new wide receivers. The guy I'm watching the most, whose name we heard quite a bit today, is Dejon Stribling. He came from Oklahoma State, and before that, Washington State, but he's a veteran guy on the outside. And he was highly productive as a Cougar and a Cowboy. So Ole Miss got Stribling in the portal, and I think that he'll be big on the outside, along with the tight ends this year.
Yeah, I love a good tight end. You have some capability there at the tight end position?
They have two of them, the Rebels do. One, two guys, Daquan Wright is coming back, and Ole Miss got Luke Haas from Arkansas. So he's coming in. To kind of replace, Ole Miss used two tight ends last year with Caden Prieskorn, but he's in the NFL now, or he was a UDFA with the Lions. So they brought in Haas to kind of fill that secondary void. So I imagine we'll see two tight ends featured quite a bit. Yeah.
Sam, what are your thoughts on the offensive line, protecting the quarterback and being able to apply the pressure at the point of attack and knock people down for the run game?
Yeah, that was not great last year, and they kind of switched a bunch coming out. The guy I'm looking at the most is the left tackle Patrick Kutas from Arkansas. He's kind of again, I'm not sure if I certainly know, or even if Lane Kiffin knows who the starting five are right now up front. But I would say that Kutas coming in from Arkansas is a pretty good bet. And the other tackle, Jaden Williams, he was having a great year with all the metrics before he got hurt last year. So I think the tackles, they'll be pretty good. Interior, some question marks. We'll see.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin mentioned that was a possibility in some of their losses, some of the reason that they fell short in those games.
They were Ole Miss lost 3 games last season, and they were all within a score. And a lot of it was because the running back situation was so unstable, and the guy that they were using for the early season last year got hurt against Arkansas. He broke his leg and was out for the season. So once Henry Parrish went down, Lane Kiffin really experimented. He used J.J. Pegues a little bit, a defensive lineman, a defensive tackle in a fullback role. And so this year they're hoping for
a more reliable run game, especially with a new quarterback. Austin Simmons coming in, so you got to have a new run game.
Yeah, on the other side of the ball, defensively, they had some high draft choices.
Oh yeah,
in the NFL. So can they match that? I mean, this is a different year, different team, circumstances, of course. But defensively, what do you think, Sam?
I mean, Lane Kiffin was pretty open at the podium day. He's like, when you set a record for draft picks, Ole Miss did with 8 draft picks last year, program record. It's going to be tough, right, to replace those guys. And the whole defensive line was so impressive last year with Walter Nolan going in the first round, defensive tackle, Princely Umamielen going early, a defensive edge, and Jared Ivey, a DE going early too on the end. So they brought in some quality pieces. Deshaun Womack is an interesting player from LSU. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. They brought in Princely Umamielen's brother on the outside. Princely was a first-round pick last year. They brought in his brother from Nebraska. We'll see if he's as good this year.
You said it better than I did.
Yeah. I learned how to spell it, too. When Princely got drafted, I knew how to spell Umamielen, and now that they bring in Prince Will Umamielen, I can keep that tool in my bag.
Awesome, Sam. That's great. Hey, Sam, how do you like covering Lane Kiffin, and what are some of the things that you like to tell people about Coach Kiffin?
Yeah, I think he's very maybe different from how you'd see on social media. On social media, he's so buzzy and active and always raising up a storm. But when you actually, kind of talk to him in a weekly setting, he's certainly interesting and he'll say interesting things. But it's kind of in a muted kind of inward manner that I was kind of getting used to. But I came from covering Mike Gundy. I used to be on the Oklahoma State beat. So he was a lot of fun to cover. And the last thing I want as a coach is just going to be boring, every Monday morning. So Lane Kiffin's certainly not that. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, boring in the South.
Yeah.
It's not accepted.
Not common, no.
Hey, Sam, one more thing you want to say about the Ole Miss team this year? Anything we left out we should mention to the audience?
I guess maybe the thing that I took most joy from today was Austin Simmons is 19 years old, the quarterback of Ole Miss, and he's out here telling people how old he feels because he's been in the system for 3 years, and they brought in so many new guys that it's like, yeah, he's 19, but he has been around the program longer than a lot of people, so it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Wow, that's fun. Hey, thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. This is AP Steadham live in Atlanta, Georgia at the 2025 SEC Football Media Days, and we want to thank Sam. Thank you so much, Sam.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Thanks, AP, for that awesome interview. That was really good. But I'm going to have to tell you, I've got that now. I'll be saying this all day. Yuan Mamelen. Did I get it right?
Better than I could.
Well, I don't know. Give me on an unusual name, I can dig it. But when I get to Smith and Jones, sometimes I have a problem. So there we go. So I know media days, and we've just got a couple of minutes left in this segment. What are you looking forward to today?
Yeah, this is a big day. Tennessee, Texas, Auburn, and Georgia. So this is probably the strongest day, meaning the teams that are ranked the highest overall. So it's a big day. So we have Alabama on Wednesday, and we finished up at Texas A&M. I think it's the last team on Thursday. So, but you can watch all the reports that I've done, all these similar type interviews. We'll try to have one for each team, media member that covers that team on our YouTube channel, AP As We See It. And it's always fun to visit with those members of the media. I see them throughout the season when I cover their teams as well. But it's always nice to get their perspective because they have some in-depth reflection on the team from last year and the projection for their prospects this year. So that's what we try to do. We try to have that for our audience at the SEC Media Days. And we're going to run across some other people that we see from across the country. So we still have quite a bit of time left here in Atlanta. Looking forward to it.
There you go. AP As We See It. You can find it on YouTube and Facebook, wherever there's social media, you can find AP. Again, thank you so much for being with us today. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Television Talk Show. You can find us on Abundance Television Syndicated, and that's found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewspastors.com. Continue sending email. It makes my day. Continue doing that. AP, I know you got to run. You got some interviews you got to do. And I've got to run too. You guys have a great night.
Bye.